Have you ever lost yourself in a game, where you no longer grind to complete the next mission, or you return to do nothing else but roam the world for hours at a time? Why does this happen? Well, that's what this video is going to be all about, analysing multiple games that have satisfying free roam. So without further ado, let's begin. When the devs create a free roam system that is so satisfying, most players forget about the objective or missions in the game, and just traverse the map for hours instead. The first reason will be the player having the intrinsic motivation to do so. I'm sure most of us love Spider-Man. What would make us feel like Spider-Man? Swinging around New York would do the trick. So the game must fulfill a fantasy the player has, and that's why they might continue to roam the in-game world. But what else is there? It needs a great gameplay loop to keep the player returning. Roaming has to be a challenge itself, not a formal mission to begin. Some games will simply pose the challenge of keeping momentum while traversing the world. In any Spider-Man game, the goal is to keep swinging. In Assassin's Creed, it's to continue traversing without choosing the wrong path, which would result in you losing your momentum. And in GTA, I guess it's avoiding crashing into everything no matter how tempting it is. Let's delve a little deeper into these gameplay loops. In Spider-Man 2018, you can express yourself with every swing. Lateral swing for the classic Spidey experience. Dodge quickly to adjust your trajectory. This is definitely required when reaching the dreaded Central Park. Wall run or vertical point launch to get to the top of a building at speed and with style. Experiment with all different inputs until you create your dream Spider-Man, swinging around New York. In the GTA series, the main premise in free roam is to gain a wanted level and to make a grand spectacle, so the various locations need to pose a challenge to make the chase exhilarating. The placement of structures is a good start, but having the NPCs getting in your way will always make the escape unpredictable. The player can select an alternative challenge for themselves while driving in GTA. You can simply try and drive from one side of the map to another in the fastest time, or experiment with different shortcuts, or just put the controller down and run people over IRL, what the GTA series has taught me to do. Assassin's Creed has had many traversal systems over the years. Every now and then the devs will strip the system down to its bare cheeks, and usually replace the features they've taken out with nothing. This all led to the mediocre climbing system that plopped out in Assassin's Creed Origins, and the AC games that came out after that installment. So let's rewind to the systems that give players a challenge rather than a chore. First 4 Assassin's Creed games had freedom of movement, however small tweaks were made, making every parkour system different in each of those entries. Each of these games had one thing in common. If we returned not to start up a new game and replay the story, we returned for the parkour, creating our own challenges to overcome, working on new techniques to try out in the next playthrough, and traversing whichever city or setting we preferred. For me personally, Assassin's Creed 2's 3 major cities do the job in terms of design, aesthetics, and vibes. This brings us nicely onto the next category for free roam, which would be the setting. What good is the gameplay if you're not in a setting that enhances the gameplay loop? Spider-Man swinging around the desert or Edinburgh would not be much fun. Spider-Man needs skyscrapers, buildings towering over the ground, a dense concrete jungle to traverse. This is required to keep his flow and allow the fantasy to be fulfilled. Assassin's Creed Unity does not have the best parkour system in the Assassin's Creed series, but the setting the player gets to traverse is perfect for parkour. Paris being a dense urban environment allowing for multiple routes to traverse. Paris is also split into multiple sections, meaning you may have mastered one district, but there's always another one to travel to that will pose different challenges to overcome. Let's slow down a little bit, as there are many settings in video games I'm sure leave a lot of us in awe, making us just want to walk around and take in the sights and properly explore. It could be a Minecraft server you're revisiting, or a new world you want to explore to find the location you vibe with the most. Bethesda have many games to get lost in, with the amount of exploration you can undertake. It's kind of what they do. The combat may be flaccid, but the open world is certainly not. However, the game that at this point resonates with me the most in recent time has to be Elden Ring. game. I'm a few years late to the party, but I'm glad I started eventually. Since I am pretty bad at the combat in the game, this has led to me exploring the map more to find easier enemies to slay, which will allow me to level up my clapped character. I've usually been rushing through playthroughs of other games in recent years, especially when the open worlds are poorly designed. However, Elden Ring has felt like such a special experience, so I'm really taking my time to explore it more. It also helps that the setting is goddamn gorgeous and terrifying all at the same time, keeping me captivated and engaged in the lands between. Roaming in video games can come in different forms. I've mainly focused on momentum traversal systems in this video, however there are many other games that create their own gameplay loop for players to enjoy. I'm sure if anyone has a favourite GTA game, that you'll find you're having a peaceful or chaotic drive from one side of the map to the other. I have found myself returning to the open world of Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag for the naval combat over the years, plundering vessels for a few hours. When I've been beaten up badly by the many bosses in Elden Ring, giving me crippling cripples, I'll sometimes just ride around the lands between to find my next daunting adventure, sometimes pausing to take in the majestic sights before I inevitably die once again. The reason I've primarily focused on roaming in games, which feature a momentum traversal gameplay loop, is simply it has resonated with me the most in my time playing video games. Maybe it stems from my impulse to randomly climb stuff, IRL. Whatever it is, it's something I find myself wanting to load up a game and simply live out my traversal fantasies, which I may get shanked for climbing on people's roofs in real life, especially with the current meal deal inflation epidemic currently plaguing the UK, making me the cheapest dish on the menu.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys!
There's a reason we return to these games in terms of the gameplay loop and setting, but maybe the personal reasons we have latched onto these worlds act as a far more compelling incentive. Swinging around New York as Spider-Man might remind you of simpler times. A child with dreams of great power before racking up all the responsibilities life bestows upon you. Maybe it's a character that left their mark on you. No longer having the time to commit to a full playthrough, you just need that time in the world to reminisce on past experiences. Maybe the incentive to return is based on skill. The developers have presented a challenge of roaming the map that will never be completed, and you can't let go when the carrot is forever dangling right in front of you. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to comment down below if there is a game that you return to do some roaming or traversing every now and then. Like and subscribe to support the channel, and remember, it's pizza time!